Okay, so let's go ahead with the introduction.
Okay. And do you want me to look at you or the camera? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Corey Keller, mom of 7, ages 22 down to 3.
Hello, I am Jess. I am 33 and I have 3 little kids.
My name is Kendra Falcon and I'm 28 years old and I have 4 children. Rayleigh is 10, Davany is 9, Emmy is 6, and Wesley is 1.5.
My name is Christine. I am 31 and I have 2 children. They are 3.5 and 2.5 boys.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your journey to becoming a mom.
Well, I was married at 21 and knew right away that I wanted to be a mom. It took a little bit of convincing, but I had my first baby when I was 23. So it was kind of a quick journey into motherhood once we decided that we wanted to have kids.
I think we were 4 years into our marriage when we finally decided. We were like, okay, I think we're ready to add somebody to grow our family. So, and that's when Jamerson, my firstborn, he's 6, came into the picture.
It was on accident in high school. I was 16 and I knew from the beginning of time that I wanted to be a mom and that was what I was supposed to do. So when I found out I was pregnant, there was no question in my mind that I was going to keep her, I guess. So I had her at 17 and her sister was, she followed shortly after 18 months, I think they are apart.
My journey to becoming a mom was unexpected. Neither one of my pregnancies was planned, which isn't a bad thing. That's just the way that it was.
Do you agree with the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child?
I definitely have a village. I am so fortunate that so many people have come around our family, not just me, but our family and our kids, and loved on us and helped us and taught us so many things. And I really couldn't do it without my tribe. It would be pretty much impossible to do alone.
I do. In the sense of my family, we co-parent both ways. So my stepdaughter's mother and her spouse are best friends. And same with my ex-husband and his wife. And we do Mother's Day together. We try to do holidays together. All of our families are intertwined.
No, I mean, I have family here who I absolutely love, but as far as the village is dead. And the village has been dead a long time.
I've never really found like a mom community, and I see these like groups of moms or like sisters getting together with their kids, and that has just never been the case for me. It's always been pretty much just me and my boys.
Did you experience any postpartum depression or anxiety?
After my 3rd son was born, so I was 28, I experienced some postpartum depression. And I probably knew it at the time, but was too prideful to reach out for help. That was in 2005. So although it was being talked about, I don't feel like it was really all that talked about or attainable to get help. And I just really muddled through it. I was pretty miserable. I think I probably made my family pretty miserable. And I had 3 young boys, ages, 5, 2, and a newborn. And so some of it I chalked up to just being overwhelmed. But looking back, I think I definitely could have and should have received help.
I did. I had postpartum depression with both of my older girls. And it was pretty bad, but manageable. I think it was after I got divorced from my ex-husband and I was a single mom. My depression got really bad and I was medicated. And it was to the point I couldn't get out of bed some days. And thank God my kids are the way they are. They helped a lot. With Wesley, I didn't though, but he had some medical issues right after he was born. So I had really bad postpartum anxiety for 3 to 6 months after that.
I got pregnant with my 2nd son when my oldest son was 6 months old. and I felt like huge failure.
Did you experience postpartum depression or anxiety?
Yes, both.
So, what do you think contributed to that the most?
Oh boy. You know, with my first, it came in the form of anxiety and an extremely intrusive thoughts. We had lived in Casper, Wyoming when my first was born, and so we were extremely isolated. We didn't have family close by, although my mother-in-law visited frequently as much as she could. I just felt very alone.
I didn't have any help. I was not in the best of relationships. And I think that was due to our age more so than the people we were. So I was doing a lot on my own, and I didn't have any family to help me, or so it felt anyways. And I just was in despair, I guess would be a good word. I wasn't sure we were going to make it.
I don't know if I can pinpoint it. I do think, like I said prior, that having, 3 small children and being 28 and had only been married, 6-7 years, and just being overwhelmed by all of it. My mom did suffer from, it actually is called postpartum psychosis. And that was back in the 70s when they just did nothing but give you Valium. And she has quite a story herself. And so I was aware of that, but I don't know, if it's hereditary or if I could really pinpoint it to one thing other than hormones obviously being imbalanced and just being overwhelmed at life and being pretty young.
It would have been really awesome if someone that was close to me was happy for me instead of stressed, because I was already stressed and I already felt like I was failing both times.
Do you feel like you've done a good job?
I think overall, yeah, with my circumstances, I'm a little unorthodox in my parenting. We're very, very open about most things, and some people don't like that, I guess. But overall, I think it has created an honest line of communication between my children and us, and we don't have many issues, I don't think.
I feel like I've done a good job at teaching my kids how to name their emotions and how to walk away, giving them some coping skills on what to do when they are feeling out of control. But overall, it's really hard to judge yourself on being a mom.
Some days yes and some days no. That's one thing I'm still really working on. It kind of took me my third kid to really just be like, you know what? I'm doing all right. It'll be okay.
No.
So, what's the hardest thing about being a mom so far for you?
Not feeling like you're doing a good job. Sometimes you never know. I always tell people, like, you could literally do everything right when parenting, and your kid will still not turn out okay. And then you could do everything wrong as a parent, and your kid turns out fantastic. You just have to go day by day, and mom guilt is a really big thing for me, working outside the home, but also trying to balance and not missing anything. I try not to miss anything, so when I do, it's a very, very big deal to my children. It sucks.
Hardest, do I have to pick one? The hardest thing for me is just the balance and completely losing all of who I was and becoming somebody that I don't even know.
The hardest thing in motherhood for me is learning how to live without a child, because my husband and I lost a daughter in 2011, and she was our 4th child, and it was unexpected. And so learning how to find hope and how to live again without having a child earthside with you has by far been the hardest part of my journey.
I wanted to die. And I tried to make that happen. And that has been the hardest thing. Because I'm never going to be the same after this.
The best part of this journey has been having conversations as they get older about really important life topics, especially if they maybe disagree with how we were raised or what my husband and I think, and just being able to know that they've thought about it for themselves and that they have a brain that they're using and that they're not just falling into the trap of listening to what I think. It's been really fun to watch my kids grow and learn and develop into their own human beings.
Watching my kids do what they like to do. I always wanted to dance when I was a kid, and my mom could not afford it, and so that's something I will work myself into the ground just so that my kids can do what they want to do. And we have a competitive dancer and a competitive gymnast and a really good soccer player, and they get to do everything they want, and they're happy all the time.
They're the ones who come to us after we've had, a horrible day, and we're frustrated with them, and we yell at them and send them to bed, and we're mad. We just don't want to be around them, and then the next day they still want to be around us.
Playing games with them, playing with them, reading to them. All those little moments that make up a lifetime, that has been, I think, the best part of being a mom.
Do you have a message for any new moms that might watch this?
Girl, just hold on. It gets better eventually. I mean, it does. It gets better.
The more you ask for advice, like for me personally, the worse I felt about my decisions. But nobody's perfect. And that's a really, really hard pill to swallow sometimes.
I think some of the best advice is, once you're a mom, you're always a mom. And so that's something that doesn't just turn off. So to think deeply, and if that's, what your goal is in life, when you'll really be ready to do that, and to be able to support them, not only as babies, but as they get older.
You are going to be a different person. And part of the journey is getting to know that person and growing up and into being a mother alongside and while you guide your little baby into becoming a child and a teenager and an adult. You're supposed to grow together.